Welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has presented a spending plan of 58.18 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly for the 2026 fiscal year. He declared that all armed groups operating outside state authority would henceforth be treated as terrorists, promising tougher security actions, structural budget discipline, and deeper economic reforms. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
The country.
And it is important to place on record has been achieved despite persistent skepticisms, relentless criticisms, and the loud objections of naysayers, and traducers, and the result of these reforms. These were difficult decisions, yet necessary ones, and they reflect a leadership willing to choose a long-term national interest over short-term benefits and comfort.
Now, to discuss the 2026 budget presented by the President, Bola Tinubu, CEO Leads Network Chukwuma Okenwa joins me on the news for more. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. So the government plans to spend 58.18 trillion naira in 2026, with 5.41 trillion naira allocated to defense and security, which happens to be the largest chunk. So in your opinion, what specific initiatives do you think that these funds will support in tackling the country's security challenges?
So basically, there's need for more investment into modernizing military operations in Nigeria, like we've seen in recent times, and more need to be done, both in terms of surveillance, intelligence gathering, and even kinetics, that's deploying of arms to be able to engage terrorists. And most importantly, is the framework with which Mr. President has disclosed as the new national counterterrorism framework or lens through which to look at terrorism. Because over time, from hearing terrorists, we began to hear bandits. You know, it will look like we are watering down forces that were capable of destabilizing Nigeria. And we know that as long as insecurity persists, we cannot really make any progress that can be shared, that can translate to shared prosperity. So I support Mr. President being able to say clearly, if you are a non-state actor that is wielding arms and has, been able to like mobilize yourself as a dealer, and that's terrorist, and by the virtue of that, the rules of engagement changes.
So, and the budget is built on 1,400 naira to a dollar. How realistic is this budget to meet the current economic situation?
If there is hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
The network seems unsteady, but I can hear you now. You can go ahead. Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So I think with the benchmarks that Mr. President have set in terms of oil and exchange rates, I think it's realistic. We myself have an issue because, I mean, when you look at the way, like maybe in terms of some structural plan to enhance production, barrels per day, then what the Mr. President have said 1.8 million barrels per day, and then also like the exchange rate at 1,000. And then of course that of also the benchmark, right, for oil internationally. So all of these are all realistic. Where I think I have issues like the two areas where I mean the president also tried to address that particular issue is the fact that having like almost like two budgets running concurrently, two budget cycles, and that is not healthy, for our nation. And Mr. President have said, you know what, by March of next year, we must have been able to like address every capital funding as it has to do with, pre-budget, like 2025 budget and that of 2024, which also has been running, and then we can now focus on a single budget cycle. So I think some of this political will and that has been demonstrated by Mr. President. If he can actually go on to implement it, that will really help greatly.
I know there's a lot to talk about regarding this budget, but we're pressed on time, so we'll leave it here. Thank you so much, Leeds Network CEO.